Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Nicole Zick, and today we're going to be doing a abstract contemporary floral done in mixed media with watercolor paints, permanent markers in several different colors, and then I added some bleed proof white to paint the veins on the solid color leaves. This is a nice, fun, doodle kind of artwork that is in two steps. First, we paint the solid flowers and then let it dry about 5 minutes and then go back in with the permanent marker and bleed proof white. So let's get started. I'll put this behind my relax and my evil eye rock this morning. And I already sketched out on my pad where I'm going to be putting my solid color leaves. If you could see that, I did the leaves and the flowers all laid out. I have my paints ready, and I'm using a large number 12 brush, and I want my paint to be a thin consistency so that way it's transparent for the areas that I need to. We're going to go right in and start with our purple flower and do the first petal. And there's a lot of overlapping in this artwork, which makes it fun and unique, and you don't know what's going to happen next. I'm also next going to go into a more red-violet for the next few petals. So we're going to have mixing of blue-violet here and red-violet on some of the other petals. You can mix the two on the paper, as I'm doing here. A little more of the red-violet. Okay, and just mix it along. And that flower's done. And then we'll add a center, but not just yet. We'll come over here and we'll do our pink flower in our magenta, which I'm running low on since it's my favorite color. I'm just going to paint inside the lines of the pencil that I drew and go into the center, go around the edge of your petal and down into the center. And it's okay if you go over your pencil line or you don't fill your whole pencil line, because I'm going to be outlining in permanent marker most of these flowers. And then the final petal for the pink magenta flower. We're going to be adding a red center here. Let's go back now and add a little purple dot to bleed. Actually, a little more. Next, we'll go up to the right corner and start our orange and red flower. We'll go again, make sure our paint is thin enough. We'll start with one petal of orange, the second petal of orange, go around the edge into the center, one more petal of the orange, and we'll leave it half, and then we'll add our cherry red, blending it on the paper. Go around the edge of your flower to the center, and the last petal that shows the true red. And we'll do the same technique now for the left side. We'll do several petals in the orange. And go around the edge to the center. Now we'll add the red. We'll mix the two on this petal here. And the last petal will make red. And while I have my paintbrush in red, I'm going to add a center in my pink flower of the red accent. the center of our orange flower, I'm going to add a dot of purple in this flower only. Next, we're going to jump into the violet that goes over the red violet here. This is a more blue, true violet. I'm going to paint that on top and overlay it onto the first purple flower that we painted. And we want it to be transparent so you could see the flower underneath. And this flower is just one shade of the purple. Just move it around and fill in your flower. Next, we'll do the blue flowers, and I have a nice rich ultramarine blue. We'll start with the top flower, bringing it in and radiating to the center with our blue. You can overlap the purple slightly and make the 5 petals. We'll do the same idea on the flower on the bottom in blue. Do the outer edge and go to the center. And the last petal. Going to add a little purple, a little more purple here. And then the violet flower, I'm going to add a little bit more purple dot in the center here. The blue flowers, I have a darker blue. A little accent in the blue. Next, we'll paint our leaves. There's 3 of them. 2 of them are red, so I'll get my red ready, my cherry red. And this, we want the paint to be slightly thicker because I want it to be more opaque. So when I paint with the bleed-proof white, it'll show through. Okay, and we have one more red leaf here. Pick up enough paint. And there's one more leaf here, that's the deep violet. Get that paint ready. And make sure it's opaque enough, once again, so the bleed-proof white will show through. Want a nice rich violet here. Okay, that should be enough for step number 1. We'll let it dry and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and the artwork is completely dry and it's time to use the markers. The markers I'm using are Ahu Ahu markers. They're double tip. One side is a chisel tip standard marker and the other tip is a fine point, and that's what I'm going to be using today. And right now I'm starting with my dark purple, and for the center of the purple I'm going to do first some little circles going around the ink blotch of the paint that we made in the center of the flower. You can add another center row if you would like to have it more opaque. And now we're just going to come out with straight lines out from the center of the flower, just radiating from the center. You can have different heights, different lengths. You can add some more and fill it in. And then at the end of each line, draw a little circle enclose it and have different heights and lengths of your dots and your center details. And that's the first flower. Then we'll come over to our orange flower, and this already has the purple, so we're just going to radiate out. Again, different lengths coming out of the flower. And then just do little circles on the ends, like we did for the first flower. You can add a shorter one there. Different heights makes it more interesting, different lengths, I should say. Then we'll go down to our pink flower, and for this we'll draw a center dot and then come out from the pink flower with the purple marker and do the radiating pinwheel around and the little circle dots on the end of each line that you made. Add a few shorter ones. Okay, then this one gets blue and then purple here. So for this one, we'll go again around the center of the purple that we painted. Just make sure it's the same darkness. And then again, radiate out. Different lengths, not in a pattern. Make sure it's random. And then the circles at the end of each line that you drew. And this is a fun artwork. If you like the video so far, please give me a thumbs up. It'll help me out a lot. Okay, now that we have the purple, we're going to draw some of the flowers that have the purple. We're going to draw this flower here. So we have to just pretend that the other flowers aren't there and concentrate on a new flower. So first we'll draw the center and then come out with 5 petals from that center. And then inside each petal, draw one single line of detail. Then we'll come up to the right and we'll draw another flower center. This way it gives you a focal point where to start your flower, and just go around with, off the page, 5 petals and draw the lines going down each center of the petal. We'll come down to the bottom and add some circles in the center focal point again, and go out with your purple and make your 5 petals and go down each center. And as you see, the background is starting to fill up. Next, we'll go over here and we'll add a leaf in the marker going down the line of the vein of the leaf. Done with the purple marker for now. Next we'll move into our blue marker and we'll do the centers on the blue. We'll make a center dot and radiate out different lengths of lines coming from the center of your flower. Do different dots at the end. And then we'll draw a leaf in the marker and the veins going down the leaf. This right now is going to be the artwork that fills up the page. Here's a second dot and will radiate out. The marker is used as a filler and it makes the artwork more complete with the details. I'm going to add a leaf over here with the marker and the veins. Then we'll draw a blue flower over to the right. And like I said, we're filling in the artwork in the background with marker elements now. Okay, done with them. Then we'll work with the red. And for the red marker, I did two different things. First, I did a red center, and then we did long radiating out of this flower, even so long as to go past the flower's edge. And then draw the little circles, draw them at different lengths. And this makes that flower different. Then we'll add a smaller flower, draw the cluster, and then the 5 petals around, and then the veining on each petal. Next we'll draw a flower down on the lower left. This will be a larger flower going off the page. And filling up the corner. Next, we're going to add our magenta color marker. Since we're over on the left, we might as well finish on the left. We have to do a flower center. And draw your petals. Next, we're going to draw a filler flower here in between the violet flower and the pink. And again, the lines that go down each petal. And then in the lower right corner, we'll draw one more pink flower. And then around this flower on the top, this orange flower, I'm doing an outline. And then let's see, are we complete? No, the next and last step, we did the blue, is our bleed-proof white that we're going to paint onto the 3 solid leaves that we have. I have a nice detail brush. Make sure it's in clean water. Dip your paintbrush into your bleed-proof white. And what I'm going to do is I'm first going to paint down the center of my leaf, dip in a little more paint, and draw some diagonal lines, painting them as if you were drawing them on a slant, and then do the slant on the other side to mirror in the same marking, so that way it's symmetrical. Add a little more there. Now we'll come down to the purple. Same idea, go down the center, then make your markings, paint lines diagonal, and you want it to be opaque to look like the paper is coming through, and then symmetrical diagonal lines on the other side of the leaf. Let me just see, make sure this is wide enough. Sometimes you need 2 coats. And the last leaf here is the red. Go down the center, diagonal lines into the main vein of the leaf and go on the other side, connecting them. Done with the bleed proof white. And that's pretty much our final artwork. Take it off the pad. And here we have our abstract art contemporary style floral done in mixed media. I hope you liked the video. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.